The winds were howling like a hungry pack of wolves, unrelenting, vicious, without remorse. It was sucking up everything in its path. The strong and sturdy trees were still standing tall, trying their hardest to withstand the constant bombardment. With every breath, the branches were swaying like a teenager on a swing, rocking back and forth. The boughs stood their ground with pride, blocking the thunderous herd that kept coming to strike them down. When suddenly something cracked. There was a lift in the earth, a shake in the wall, and with one final push, the mighty gale overtook its robust enemy. You could just feel it getting closer and closer. The rumbling in the land was getting stronger by the minute. With every passing gale, you could hear the structures shaking to their very core. It sounded like an orchestra of drummers banging on metal poles, like the clapping of 1,000 children at a national assembly, the stomping of 1,000 horses racing down the track. The sonic resonance was deafening. It echoed all through the valley. The lights were constantly flickering on and off. It was important to keep them glowing, otherwise the whole place would get pitch black. Dark, heavy clouds covered the horizon. If there was a moon or any stars tonight, the clouds were covering them like a thick duvet. It looked like there were layers upon layers above, blocking even the smallest streak of light from penetrating. If it weren't for the few bulbs in the cabin, the entire valley would be looking like a coal mine, like the inner depths of a gigantic cave, as black as the bottom of the ocean. That's when it started. It looked as if the clouds opened up for a split second, and down it came. It raced down from the heavens and lit up the entire horizon, a streak as wide as the Grand Canyon, as long as the Great Wall of China. It was blue beyond measure, a spectacle to behold, a moment of magic and destruction. Before it reached the ground, it split up into 1,000 mini heads and covered up half of the night sky. There was a small piece that followed. It only lasted for 3 to 4 seconds, but it was the most hopeful little time of the night. It was short and sweet, and it ended with the booming roar of thunder. It was the loudest and scariest noise of the entire night. Nothing could match it. Nothing could compete with it. The winds shivered under it, and the clouds cowered away from it. With that, the downpour began. It was fast and ferocious. It came down like a fiery storm of arrows at war. What's worse is that it woke up the wind from its slumber. The tempest had elevated to a completely different level, a much heinous stage than before. The powerful winds and the brutish rain turned it into a nightmare. Who knows how long the cabin would survive this? With the cyclone knocking through every door and window, and the cloudburst poking through the roof, it was a wonder the foundation was still standing. That's when the front door burst wide open. The lights burned out, and the whole valley was engulfed in complete and utter darkness, with nothing but the storm raging through the night.